I'm the Hooded Lid and welcome to my channel. Today I'm the Hooded Lid and welcome to my channel. And the minute I sit down, the birds start. We're going to work through it. Today I wanted to do the second installment of Hooded Lid Basics 101. And today I want to talk about shadow and light. It just helps to give us a better idea of what we're working with and how to work with it. So basically, if you've ever taken an art class, you have an idea of what I'm talking about. In my last video, I really didn't explain it well, and I still think I can't explain it well, but when you have an assignment to look at shadows and light when you're doing a portrait in pencil or charcoal, it's not about drawing, for instance, the eye or the nose in hard lines. It's, especially the nose, it's a good example. You don't go line, line, nostril, nostril, you build the shadows around them and they define the areas. And I think it's very helpful when you're hooded, because what you're going to try to do is fake depth where it doesn't exist. And you do that with shadows. And shadows go vertically as well as horizontally. So shadows here, right? Shadows here. This is the interception, actually. Interception of two, a vertical and a horizontal. The nose protrudes. Things that protrude have light. Things that recede have darkness. So right here, a little darkness. The top of the forehead, light. Where this bone goes in a little bit, there's darkness. And the darkness goes here, and the top of the brow bone, there's a little lightness because brow bones protrude. If you're hooded, really good chance it protrudes. Right here I have puffiness, so while I have receding right here that is darkness, and some of it isn't shadow, some of it is skin darkness, but this protrudes, so it goes out. Darkness in here, lightness right here. Same thing around the eyes. So I have lightness. You could look at it as almost a triangle right here, where I would prefer to have, what's that thing called again? A crease. I find that for me, this hood can tend to make my eyes look smaller. And I don't feel that my eyes are actually small, but they're in between. Like if I smile, all of a sudden I think my eyes look really, really small. If I'm extraordinarily puffy on any given day, I think the eyes look really, really small. But there's a lot of eye space. So the eye space is from eyebrow to eyebrow, right? This is a nice box of space. How much your eye takes up of it kind of determines how big your eye looks. So if you're just putting your eye makeup around your eye only, a lot of this eye box is this area and it overtakes this area. So you want to make this all look like it's part of the eye. I hope that's not confusing, and this is just my interpretation. There's two palettes that I'm going to consider using today. This is the MAC Burgundy ×9. There's a lot of shades in here that are not going to be workable. So a shimmer, no. A shimmer, no. A shimmer, no. And also really, really dark. And another shimmer. I'm not sure. I might end up using a shimmer today, but off the bat, I'm going to say no. This is really dark, but you could mix it with something else. But the colors I'm looking at here, I hope we're in frame, this, maybe this if I mix it with something else. And you'll notice that these are mauve tones, and mauve has gray in it, and shadows have gray in them. That's why we're doing these colors. This is Nude Pop from Kevin Kwan, looks like yay. And same thing, I got some really pretty shimmers in here, which we're not going to be looking at, but this, maybe this. This is too dark. This I think is a matte, and maybe if I mixed it with something else. And again, these have those mauvey tones in them. You can see that these two palettes relate to each other pretty nicely. So if you don't have one or the other, maybe you'll have something similar to that. Taupes work really, really well. I pull aside my brushes that I anticipate needing, and I have to say, the things I'm really going to be needing are detail brushes, because this isn't going to be a one and done, blow it out and leave. We're going to try to do some really specific work. A MAC 211, and I think this is an e.l.f. pencil brush. I've got a 217, I'm not sure if I'll use it, and this is the brush I use every day for just my transition, receding the hood. We're going to start with that. I'm going to start with this color, and then I might go a little bit darker. Let's see, it's been a long time since I've used this palette. And I love this brush because it wasn't shaped like this when I first got it, but you can see it kind of goes like this, and it's perfect to get into that space where it's not going to be a very specific zone, but perfect for a transition and getting you started on receding the hood. Now for my particular hood, by the way, I'm hooded towards the end, and that has a tendency to pull everything down. I want to make my eyes look longer, so they're taking up that box. So eyebrow to eyebrow down here, this is the box I want it to fill out, but I don't want everything to pull down. But right now I'm just sketching everything, and then we'll see if I have to go back in with some concealer and just erase this a little bit. Every face is a little different, but that's what works from my face. Another thing that's really important is forest from the trees. So I use a magnifying mirror right here to see what's going on, largely because I'm blind. And then I have a mirror right here, so I'm looking this to this. But when I'm looking in this mirror, the white is still a little too far down, or the hood. So I want to go back with that color and work it a little bit higher, but I don't want to do it with the same brush because this brush is quite big. So I'm going to go in with the 217 and just look at what area am I looking at right there. And then go in with a closer look over here. I'm going to pull you in a little bit. Although I think I'm pretty close, I'm going to pull you in anyway. You know what? I'm going to go in with the concealer now. It's getting hot. The heat's coming. A little NARS on my hand because I don't want too much on this brush. And again, forest from the trees. Now I have darkness on my lid in this area anyway, so this is probably not shadow. Lift the eye to do the work, but relax the eye to see. So right here, there's a little triangle going down, and I want to take the edge off of that point. If you've seen some of my other videos, another way to look at it is this. I like to go in and then out, and this is why. But we'll get to that in another video. There, I feel like I'm pulling everything up where this is kind of going down. So there's my shape. Before I do anything else, I'm going to get that 217 again because I don't have a lighter color to blend out the very edge of this receding that I've done. So I'm just going to put this on its side. So instead of vertical, I'm holding it this way and just work on the edges a little bit. And the edges are pretty good on this side. If your eyes are wide set, you could bring this in over here. If your eyes are not wide set, or if they are close set, this is not something you want to do. But again, we're looking at shadows and light. That's why most people like to put something on the inner corner. They don't know that's why they do it, but this used to be a trick that professional makeup artists did. So when someone's on the red carpet, and you're not doing a close-up on a red carpet, so you need an optical illusion of some kind, putting a little bit of lightness right in here just makes the eyes look brighter, further apart, more youthful, more alert, more fresh. It's not about, now I feel like the inner corner highlight is more about, it's like wearing jewelry or earrings. Like, ooh, I'm going to put bright blue right in here. But that's not really what it's about when you look at makeup as a tool to look as good as you can instead of looking at it as an accessory. We're going to go in a little bit darker, so I'm going in with this color. I consider the highest point of the eye in the center right here. And generally speaking, you want that to be a straight line over to the side. You want a little bit of it to show, usually. Let's go for it. I don't want to pull it too far out here because that will have a tendency to pull everything down. But this is the point I'm looking for, and now I'm straight. And you can see I'm using a smaller brush for this. And then fill that in and take a look. And when you work like this, you don't have to spend as much time blending out because you're laying it down so carefully. All right, I feel like I am really beginning to elongate the eye, but I do want a little more depth in here because the hood is quite protruded today. The hood has a personality of her own. We listen to the hood. We're slave to the hood. So I'm going to bring it up right here. And just keep on looking in between both mirrors. Okay. A little something just makes a big difference. Now when you close your eyes, it looks crazy. If you want to, you can do a little blending here just so it looks good when your eyes are closed. But generally speaking, we talk to people with our eyes open, so it doesn't really matter that much. And if you want to, you can kind of bring this down, but don't bring it out to that area that we already put the concealer on, because it's just going to pull everything. And you don't have to do this step. And down to the lash area. Now most people like to do the outer V, the outer corner darkness, and what that does is it gives depth to the eye and you can see the roundness. And when I say roundness, I don't mean this way, but I mean this way. So this will make it look like it's receding when you do a halo, and this comes out and makes the eyes look round as opposed to like flat buttons in your head. But for hooded eyes, I don't know that that's really something that we need to work on because we have other issues to work on. And I'm going to do the other eye and I'll be right back. Kind of. So that's basic your shadow and light. I have receded the hood a little bit. I've elongated the eyes a little bit. Now all there is to do, if you want to do something a little fun, a little light, you can certainly do that. And go in with this. Just for fun. These things are not what give you structure, the shimmers and the glitters. They're, like I said before, the accessory, but they are not the workhorses. And put a little bit here. Open everything up. Now I'm going to do lining and mascara, and then we'll just come back and see if there's anything else I want to do. Before I go on to mascara, I just want to show you how a little bit of tight lining can make everything look so much prettier. For me, especially as I get older, I find that this flush under the lashes just shows more often. And when you close it up by putting a brown color in there, It makes the lashes look like they're thicker, and it just does something to the eyes, I think. And now I'm just going with some mascara. It's quite a natural look, right? I feel like I need a little brightness on my cheeks to make me feel pop, 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 pop. I'm going to bring this in, and it's really not about this, it's about the eyes. So while I'm putting that on, I will say what we just did, which is simply receding the hood and then pulling it out, doing a little bit of a wing action with the shadow. That's something you can do with colors too, eventually. But I just wanted to start at the beginning for those of you who have worn makeup in a while and can't remember, or you're dealing with different eyes than you remember having, or those who are new to makeup. It's just giving you some, I hope, the idea of this series is to give you a little structure, and then you build from there and bring in your own creativity from there and have fun from there. But first you kind of have to know what the rules are. And now I feel a little more alive. I'm going to do a little bit of bronzer. I think I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. So the outside of the hood, which lays on my lashes, is no longer pulling down. We fought against that with that second color right here. And with the concealer, making sure that the first color we laid down didn't go out too low. And this area, which I was really fighting with in this box, the eye box, the hood was taking up a lot of that space, and just receding it a little bit has made it feel like I'm no longer fighting with that space, and that my eye itself is more a part of that eye box. So that's lesson number 2. It doesn't probably seem too different than lesson number 1, but it's far more articulated. It's far more specific in what we did. And stay tuned for lesson number 3. So I am going to wrap this up. I want to thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. I hope it was helpful to you, and I hope I took you away from your day for a few minutes. Be safe, be smart, and until we meet again, I am wishing you good health.